Hi, my name is Björn. I'm co-CEO at Resolution. And today we're talking about vacation. Now, we're talking about the out-of-office assistant. So what is the idea behind this application? Picture this. It's Friday afternoon. You need a very important infographic for your favorite customer. You're creating the issue in Jira. You assign it to your graphic designer. But what you don't know is that your graphic designer is at the moment totally in preparation mode for 1 week vacation. So what will happen with your issue? Nobody will work on it. It will stuck in the workflow. The reason for this is that from a Jira perspective, everybody is always available, but that's not the reality. So what's missing here is an out-of-office assistant. And an out-of-office functionality, which understands when a person is available or not available, and also reacts based on this information. So clearly, yes, you can go now to your HR system, searching for the person, figuring out when the next vacation of this person is, but this will extend the workflow massively. And it's also context switching, and it's always about avoiding context switching. Let's jump into it, how it looks like. So we have here my screen. And what we are seeing here is I create now this new issue. I need the infographic. I do it a little bit simplified. Normally it will be longer with a description and so on. And I leave it unassigned for a moment because I want to show you what users see first from the out-of-office assistant app. So we are opening the issue, and at the moment it's unassigned. Let's close this here. And on the right side, you have an out-of-office assistant issue glance. And this shows me now that the issue is unassigned. It also shows me the available users. And more important, it shows me unavailable users. And agenda here is my infographic designer. So means now I can do a smart decision. Maybe I have a second marketing person who's able to do it, or I already know that I need to postpone the infographic to a different point. So I can assign now direct here the ticket to a person. So like in the admin, for example, clicking on it, and then the issue is assigned to the person. Super easy. I can also see here now that the assignee is available. So what happens now, because when I create an issue, I can't see issue glances at all. So what happens now when I assign it to Agenda, who is on vacation? Assigning it to Agenda, we're scrolling up. It's shortly assigned to her. And now our out-of-office rule kicks in, and the assignee is admin. So what is an out-of-office rule? I will explain it in a second. So what happened is that we reassigned the issue to an available person. And we're also getting an additional information that Agenda is out of office and the issue is reassigned to admin by our app Jira Out of Office Assistant. Okay, how does it look like? Let's jump into Agenda's view here for a second. So this is a view from Agenda. Agenda opened the app. We see it already in the background here via Out of Office Assistant. It's also available on the project side. And what we can see here is a rule. And she said that she's off from the 23rd of January to 31st of January, already a little bit longer, as I said. And the rule is active. And the rule is valid for all projects. The coverer is admin. That's what we saw in the issue, that it was automatically reassigned to admin. We also can see that Agenda set up an out-of-office message. It's also possible to do it without. We are jumping into rules in a second. And I have a couple of more information, which I will explain soon. So how does it look like now? So I can create a new rule manually. And manually, I mean, we have already an active rule from the 31st. So let's assume Agenda gets an additional week off. Here I have a start date, I have an end date. I can select here the project. I can do it for all projects. I can do it for a specific project. Or when I want to be more granular, I can go to JQL filters, and then I can choose one of my setup JQL filters, which are normally here. So this is super cool when you need to be very specific about issues. So a classic use case is here that you only want to do it for issues with a high priority, because you don't want that all normal issues where it's totally acceptable that it's stuck in the workflow for a week, that they are reassigned. So when you want to do it just for high priority issues or issues from a specific person like your boss or something like that, or your most important customer, you can set up this. We go for all project here, clicking back on projects. Now I can select a coverer. So we take again admin. Admin is a little bit the poor person here in the company. He needs to cover all the others. And we have also approvers here. I will come to this a little bit later. So now I set up here my out of office message, like in Gmail, like in Outlook. So I'm not available. Good luck. Something like this. Be nice to your colleagues. So, and then you have here a functionality, add an out of office tag when you're out of office, or a couple of days before. So I will show you how this will look like in a second. You can decide if you want to share this with your customers. Again, for the JSM functionality, I will explain it a little bit later, and you can activate the rule immediately. So let's go to, here we can see now the new rule. It's relatively similar to the other one. So let's jump into this rule. I can also edit rules. This is the active one, which triggered my reassignment before. And it says it's already days before set up that I can see it when somebody mentions me. Let me show you this, how it looks like. So we're going to our ticket again. So recent. Here's our infographic ticket. And let's assume I'm writing somewhere a message to, and I mention agenda. So I can see that agenda is not available. So that's super good when you put watchers, for example, on a ticket and you mention them, hey, please check this in addition to the assignee. So you get immediately the information the person is not available, and you potentially need to select another person or need to find a workaround on the aspect that agenda is not available. So let's jump back to the browser here. So we see a couple of more informations here. So we see here reassignments, and these reassignments are super interesting because agenda has here a documentation, a reporting, which issues were reassigned from this rule. So agenda can also see where errors happen. These errors here, for example, what we triggered are errors. Agenda tried to reassign an issue to a person in a project where the person has no permissions to be an assignee in the project. So we are also showing this as error messages in addition. So normally users avoid this simple after, or when they did it once, they are not doing it again. So this gives me also the chance to quickly click on the issues when I'm back from vacation or back from my sickness and reassign it back to me. So I have here the action, so I can download the event. So that's, for example, when you want to store it in your calendar. You can edit, that's what we already see, or you can also delete the rule completely. This is my favorite functionality here. So this is the function reassign all open issues from yourself to another person before you go on vacation. So that's your 1-minute vacation preparation. My recommendation is please inform your colleague before you're doing it. So you can see here, Agenda has a lot of issues. I can see the cover again. I can decide if I just want to select admin here as a coverer, or if I want to assign all the issues, and I can do a selection here. So that's your 1, 2, 3 click preparation for vacation. And you can activate or deactivate the rule here. If you want to create a new rule, you can do it here. Relatively easy. Source priority, I will explain a little bit later. So let's go to the user administration. So that's what every user here has. But in the user administration, you can create, or first of all, you can see all the rules from the company. You can also create or edit rules when you have the permissions. So means what we created here is a permission set that every organization can set up their individual permission set. So means maybe you want to enable your HR person to create new rules on behalf of other users, or your project lead should be able to do it. So in some situations, this is necessary because when you get sick or you have an accident, we all hope that never happens. But then in these cases, very often somebody else needs to set up your out of office rule or need to change your out of office rule when you extend your vacation another week. So this is possible in the out of office user administration. You can see all the available users. You can see the out of office rules. You can filter it down for specific projects here. For example, in the Cupra project, I can see who will be out in the future or who's at the moment out, and I can also see the setup of the coverers and approvers here. Super useful tool. You have a couple of global settings, which I don't explain in detail here. So that's the user browser. Okay, let's talk about integrations. You saw this tab here. Integrations. So we have a couple of integrations. So the first one is Outlook. What happens here? When the Outlook integration is enabled and you set up your absence message in Outlook, then we automatically activate a rule. So this works with templates. So it means a user wants a setup, so connecting Outlook, creating the template, which is aligned to the Outlook rule with the message and the coverer and for which project it's valid. We are also creating a default template here when you create Outlook the first time. And as soon Outlook has an absence message, your out of office rule in Jira is automatically activated. When your absence is over or you cancel it in Outlook, it's automatically deactivated. So means what we are doing here, we are minimizing the need of these manual rule maintenance. Google Calendar will come soon. Tempo integration, that's a super good one. So what you can see here on the Tempo integration is, it looks a little bit complex for a moment, but it's relatively easy. So in Tempo you have Tempo Planner and Tempo timesheets. So in Tempo you have specific issues for vacation, so PTO, sick days, or training. You can set up more if you want to do it. So as soon there is an entry for a vacation or a sick day, as soon this is approved, our API connection to Tempo gets this message, and we also activate again your favorite out of office rules for this specific situation. So let's assume you have a standard PTO stuff. In this scenario, Agenda has here set up 3 templates, coverer for key projects. It's done with a JQL filter, what I shown you before in the manual rules. We have also an approval delegation automatically activated and another all projects template here. What it means is you can be super creative with your rules. You can think about what should be the situation with my issues when I'm not available, and setting up granular rules for exactly these scenarios. I think you're getting it here. So you can also maintain your templates here that you simply can select them if you want to change something. Okay, let's go back to the integrations part. So Tempo, we have seen the Tempo integration. We have also Slack. That's my favorite one. Slack, relatively simple. You all know it, the palm tree. And this is what users can do from their mobile, relatively easy when they also forgot what happens from time to time to me. When they forgot to set up an out of office rule, I simply go on Slack, palm tree or the Christmas tree on in the holiday season. I set it up, and again, my template is activated, a rule is activated, and also Jira knows that I'm not available. Zapier integration is at the moment for Google Calendar. With this scenario, you can integrate your Google Workspace, for example, when you maintain your vacations in your Google Calendar, create a Zapier connection, and that automatically kicks in. We have predefined steps for it in Zapier available. And the REST API connection is really more the enterprise part here. So a lot of our customers, they already connected their HR systems to out of office assistant for Jira. We have a public available API. So means as soon a vacation or sickness is approved or entered in the system, Jira knows it. And this means all your colleagues know. And think about the effect in bigger organizations. People don't need to search anymore. Is this person available? Can I assign the ticket? Issues are not stucking into the workflow. So it's really a game changer for productivity based on this aspect. Integrations. So far, so good. We saw in the rules a couple of things. Let me share my screen again. We saw a couple of things which are JSM related. We have here coverer for approvals. So approvals is a JSM functionality. And also here, I can set up rules for approvers. What is the idea here? Especially in bigger organizations, you have relatively quick, complex approval scenarios. And it's a JSM functionality, so means very often behind these approvals, you have internal customers or external customers who are waiting for this approval. So means the effect when somebody is not available can be relatively quick, dramatic. So the idea here is that you simply use logic, what we are using for reassignments for issues or informing people that they are not available. We are using it here for approvers as well. This allows me to create a structure that when my boss is not available and I send an approval to him, approval is automatically reassigned to another person. These approval scenarios can be relatively quick, complex, because in bigger organizations, approvers are sometimes not Jira users. So means a lot of our customers have scenarios where, let's say, a manager is not a Jira user, but he is an approver. He or she is an approver for something. So means from a Jira perspective, it's a customer, an internal customer. So means what we also can do here is that in the user administration, an project admin, for example, can set up rules on behalf of one specific customer, like the boss. And when this person is not available, then the approval chain kicks in. So you're getting the approver stuff here. So coverers. Coverers for approvals. So you can set up here the coverers for approvals like I explained. Relatively easy, similar like the coverers for the reassignments. Okay, another one. Pair this message with service desk customers. One small checkbox, but an important one. When your scenario is that your service desk is a customer-facing service desk, then you want to avoid that your customer sees that your agent is not available. In most of the cases, I don't know, maybe you have a super trustful relationship to your customers and you also share this information. But most of our customers are not doing it with external customers. So means in general, this is deactivated, that your customers can't see when somebody is on vacation. What would be the visible part? So the message here is sent as a comment to a ticket. So when this is activated, we are not sending this as a normal comment, we are sending it as an internal comment. So it means your agent still can see it, but your customers not. In internal service desks, the scenarios can be a little bit different. On internal service desks, it can be a little bit different. So let's assume you have an internal service desk for IT tickets, classic notebook problems, Zoom license problems, and so on. And you want that your internal customers can see the status of the agent. Okay, so here we are on a portal view of a ticket, not the best ticket in the world from the summary and the description, but that's not important for the moment. What we can see here when your setup is shared with your customers, that I have an additional out-of-office assistant status, which shows me the assigned assignee and the out-of-office status. So means now you allow your internal customers to react based on it. The agents can see it anyway in their issue glance, but also here the customer can see it. So we can do a lot more things. All the statuses you have seen are also available in the JQL. So means users who are out of office, issues are reassigned from the out of office assistant, and a couple more. This allows you to do a lot of magic. So you can use this, for example, in automations, you can use it in filters, but you can also use it in dashboards, and that's a super powerful tool. So let me show you what we did with that. We have an out of office dashboard. I'm opening it now. And as you can see, it has a couple of graphs. And our properties allow you, for example, to have a graph. Who are the coverers and how many tickets they have? And here, for example, you should balance it a little bit that not just Andy and Björn have all the issues as a coverer. But you can also create dashboards for projects. So show me all the projects where issues are assigned to person who are not in the office at the moment because they are sick or on vacation, or they're leaving next week. So think about risk management. So when you see this, for example, it looks like that you have definitely an issue in support next week, but it also can show you that in your development project, or that's not a development project here, that in your development project also next week 17 issues will not have progress because the persons are simply not available. You can see the reassignments by status, which epics are affected, and so on. So there are no borders for your creativity here. Out of office dashboards is the combination here in this scenario of our JQL properties, which can be used then in filters and then can be used in dashboards. In this case here, it's custom charts. Good. So these are the main functionalities of the out of office assistant. So to summarize it, out of office assistant allows you to set up rules when you're not available and to define what should happen with your tickets or your approval requests. It can be relatively basic that all projects reassign to, in this case, admin, or you can do it super granular based on filter level, JQL level, if you want to set up 10, 15 rules which have very specific individual behaviors for you. You saw on the one screen also the priority. So when you have a lot of rules, and in some cases you need to set up a priority because rules can have overlapping settings. With this priority, you can also define what is the most important rule and how should it behave. If you want to understand more, especially for the complex scenarios, reach out to us. We are super happy to understand your use case and to help you with that. And then, yeah, thanks a lot for watching and give it a try.